Breaking news from Hollywood. A shocking twist has emerged in one of the entertainment industry's most talked about legal battles. Actor and director Justin Baldoni, known for It Ends With Us and Jane the Virgin, has just received a final judgment in his explosive $400 million lawsuit against his co-star Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times. According to court documents obtained by E! News, the judgment was entered after Judge Louis J. Liman dismissed Baldoni's case earlier this year. The ruling came after the 41-year-old filmmaker and his company, Wayfarer Studios, failed to submit an amended complaint before the court's deadline. Following that, on October 17th, the court ordered all involved parties to explain why a final judgment should not be issued. But when Baldoni and his team did not respond, the court proceeded to close the case with a final ruling on October 31st. However, this doesn't mean it's over. Justin Baldoni still retains the right to appeal the judgment once the court rules on Blake Lively's request to recoup her legal fees. In other words, this legal war is far from finished. But the story goes even deeper. While Baldoni's lawsuit has been dismissed, Blake Lively's own case against him is still moving forward, and it's making headlines across Hollywood. In her lawsuit, Lively accused Baldoni of sexually harassing her on set during the filming of It Ends With Us in 2024, and of hiring a crisis PR expert to smear her name in the media. Baldoni has vehemently denied all allegations. The case is officially set to go to trial in March 2026, a date now circled in red across the entertainment industry. To make things even more complicated, the New York Times, which was originally one of the defendants in Baldoni's countersuit, has now filed its own lawsuit against him. The outlet is seeking compensatory and punitive damages for the costs it incurred while defending itself in his massive defamation case. Baldoni, however, is not backing down. His attorney, Brian Friedman, issued a strong statement to People magazine, saying, "Win, lose, or draw, we refuse to cave to power brokers, even in the face of seemingly impossible odds. We continue to stand tall for a reason, the pursuit of truth in the face of giants." This entire scandal traces back to late 2024, when everything began to spiral out of control. On December 20th, 2024, Blake Lively filed a CRD complaint against Baldoni and his associates at Wayfarer Studios, marking the first major public step in their feud. Just one day later, the New York Times published a bombshell report detailing an alleged smear campaign against Lively, claiming that Baldoni and his team had tried to damage her reputation following internal conflicts on set. Within hours of that article, the entertainment world exploded. On December 21st, Baldoni's attorney responded to the accusations, denying any wrongdoing. But the fallout was immediate. That same day, Baldoni was dropped by his talent agency, and even his co-host from the Man Enough podcast left the show. By Christmas Eve, the situation had worsened. Baldoni's former publicist filed a lawsuit against him, his colleagues, and Wayfarer Studios, alleging professional misconduct. Then, on December 31st, Baldoni, his studio, and his associates retaliated with a lawsuit of their own, this time targeting the New York Times directly for defamation and damages. But before the new year could even settle, Blake Lively struck back, filing her own lawsuit against Baldoni and his partners, further escalating the already bitter dispute. What began as a disagreement between co-stars on a romantic drama had now evolved into one of the most public and expensive Hollywood legal wars in recent memory. And the drama didn't stop there. Just days later, in early January 2025, Baldoni's legal team began publicly suggesting that they intended to sue Blake Lively directly, a promise they fulfilled by January 16th with the now infamous $400 million lawsuit, naming both Lively and Ryan Reynolds, along with others. From behind-the-scenes footage leaks to midnight voice memos, gag orders, and explosive press statements, this case has every ingredient of a Hollywood thriller. But with the latest final judgment now entered against Baldoni, the tides may finally be turning. Still, many questions remain unanswered. Will Baldoni choose to appeal the court's decision? Will Blake Lively's allegations hold up when the case goes to trial in 2026? And what role will the New York Times play now that they've filed a lawsuit of their own? As the story continues to unfold, one thing is certain: this isn't just a legal battle. It's a full-blown Hollywood war, with careers, reputations, and hundreds of millions of dollars on the line. The Hollywood storm surrounding Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively shows no sign of slowing down. What started as professional tension on the set of It Ends With Us has now transformed into one of the most complex and dramatic courtroom sagas the industry has seen in years. After the final judgment against Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit, insiders say the actor-director is preparing to challenge the ruling once Blake Lively's pending motion for legal fees is decided. His team insists that Baldoni will not back down quietly and that an appeal could soon be on the horizon. But while Baldoni fights to clear his name, Blake Lively's lawsuit against him continues to grow more intense. Court insiders have confirmed that her legal team has compiled a series of messages, behind-the-scenes notes, and witness accounts from the It Ends With Us set. Evidence they claim proves a pattern of professional misconduct. Sources close to Lively describe her as determined but emotionally drained. The Gossip Girl star has allegedly faced months of online attacks since the scandal began, with several PR insiders revealing that she has hired a crisis communications firm of her own to protect her public image. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds has reportedly been standing firmly by his wife's side throughout the ordeal. His name appeared in Baldoni's original lawsuit, where Baldoni accused Reynolds of using his influence in Hollywood to damage his reputation through media channels, a claim that Reynolds' lawyers have called outrageous and baseless. The timeline of this entire legal war tells a story of escalating chaos. After Lively's CRD complaint was filed, on December 20th, 2024, the dominoes began to fall rapidly. Within days, the New York Times had published its controversial article alleging that Baldoni and his associates had launched a smear campaign against Lively. The piece sparked outrage across social media, leading to a wave of reactions from Hollywood stars and It Ends With Us cast members who voiced their support for Lively. Then came the chain reaction. Baldoni's agency cut ties with him, his podcast partner left the Man Enough show, and his reputation took a major hit. His publicist's lawsuit on December 24 added another layer of pressure, accusing him and his team of unethical behavior and unpaid dues. As the clock struck midnight on December 30, Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios retaliated by suing the New York Times for what they called defamatory reporting and intentional reputational destruction. But just hours later, Blake Lively countered with her own legal action, accusing Baldoni of harassment and manipulation. By early January, the story had exploded into a full-blown Hollywood crisis. On January 7th, Baldoni's lawyer made headlines again when he publicly criticized the marketing campaign for Deadpool Wolverine, suggesting it was part of a coordinated smear attempt by Lively and Reynolds. Within days, tensions skyrocketed as both camps traded legal threats and media statements. The feud deepened further when private voice memos and text messages between Baldoni and Lively were reportedly leaked on January 27th, shaking the public even more. In one 2 a.m. voice memo, Baldoni allegedly spoke emotionally about wanting to make things right and accused unnamed insiders of twisting his words to destroy him. That same week, the court officially set a trial date, confirming that Blake Lively's lawsuit against Baldoni would proceed in March 2026. But the legal war didn't stop there. Baldoni later added the New York Times as a defendant in his $400 million lawsuit, calling their reporting reckless and malicious. Soon after, the media giant struck back in October 2025, filing its own lawsuit against Baldoni for damages, claiming they had suffered significant costs defending themselves from his countersuit. Behind the scenes, sources say both sides have spent millions in legal fees and crisis management efforts, each trying to shape public perception in their favor. Industry experts have called it a cautionary tale of how quickly Hollywood alliances can crumble when fame, reputation, and money collide. But despite everything, Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, insists that his client will keep fighting. His statement, "We continue to stand tall for a reason. The pursuit of truth in the face of giants," has become something of a rallying cry for Baldoni's supporters online. As of now, the court has closed Baldoni's case, but the stage is set for Blake Lively's trial in 2026, a moment that could redefine both of their careers. Legal analysts say the upcoming proceedings may reveal explosive new evidence, especially if Lively's legal team decides to introduce private communications or production records from the It Ends With Us set. And while the cameras have stopped rolling on their film, the real-life drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is just beginning its next act. Hollywood waits anxiously as this high-stakes battle unfolds, where reputations are on the line, alliances are tested, and the truth is still tangled somewhere in between. This is not just another celebrity feud. This is Hollywood's biggest courtroom showdown, and the world will be watching when the gavel finally falls.